History is not always written by the strongest sword. Sometimes it is written by the strongest heart. 1192. The shores of Jaffa burned under the scorching sun. Steel clashed, arrows tore through the sky. Men screamed, empires collided. On one side stood Richard the Lionheart, the fearless king of England, a warrior whose name alone could shake armies. And on the other, Salahuddin Ayyubi, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, a man known not only for his victories, but for something far rarer, mercy. This was not just a battle. This was a moment that would echo through history. The Battle of Jaffa, one of the fiercest moments of the Third Crusade. Richard returned with a small but determined force, facing Saladin's vast, disciplined army. Despite being outnumbered, Richard fought like a storm. He led from the front, sword in hand, charging into enemy lines with unmatched fury. But Saladin was no ordinary opponent, a master strategist, calm, patient, calculating. He watched, waited, and struck. With precision. 2 legends, 2 worlds, 1 battlefield. And then, everything changed. In the middle of chaos, fate intervened. Richard's horse was struck down. The mighty king, thrown to the ground. Dust rose, the battlefield roared. And for the first time, Richard stood alone. No horse, no shield, surrounded by enemies. This was the moment. 1 strike, 1 decision, and the King of England would fall. History stood still, because if Richard died here, the crusade could collapse. Europe would lose its greatest commander, and the balance of power would shift forever. But what happened next shocked even his enemies. Saladin saw everything. He saw a fallen king, a warrior without a horse, a rival, now vulnerable. This was his victory. This was his moment to end it all. But instead of raising his sword, Saladin made a decision that defied the logic of war. He turned to his brother and gave an order. Send him horses, 2 of the finest Arabian horses, strong, fast, majestic, delivered not to an ally, but to an enemy, and with them, a message. It is not fitting for a king to fight on foot on a battlefield filled with blood. This was something else entirely. This was honor. Think about it. If Saladin had chosen differently, if he had ended Richard's life, in that moment, history would not be the same. England could have fallen into chaos. The Crusaders might have lost all momentum. The political future of Europe could have changed completely, and the Middle East might tell a very different story today. 1 act of mercy, 1 decision, in the heat of battle, created a ripple that shaped nations. This was not weakness. This was power of a different kind. Centuries later, we still remember this moment, not because of who won the battle, but because of how it was fought. Saladin didn't just defeat enemies. He earned respect, even from those who stood against him. And Richard, the Lionheart, never forgot the man who showed him mercy in a world driven by conquest. This was a rare reminder that even in war, there can be humanity. So here's the question. In today's world, where power often means domination, is there still room for honor like this? Could a leader today spare an enemy instead of destroying them? Or has that kind of strength disappeared forever? Tell me what you think in the comments, because sometimes the smallest decisions change the fate of the entire world. I'm your host, and this is Warfront Chronicles.